Hot wind on the corner, street light on empty, dust on my shoes and a debt on my name. I left my hat in the doorway, left my luck in the hall. The clock at the liquor store been lying to us all. I got 3 nickels in my pocket, 1 match in the rain, and a woman back in that room who knows my shame by name. The screen door was hanging loose, the fan was turning slow. Everybody in that block could hear me breathe low. I said I was just passing through, just cooling off my face. But the south side heat had already picked my place. Oh, man on the stoop watching me pretend like a man can lose his respect and still call it a friend. The ash in my cigarette looked like the end of a fight. The moon hung tight and yellow over that second light night. I heard a little heart cry from the joint down the street. Sounded like my own good sense getting dragged by my feet. I thought about running hard, thought about turning clean. Then I heard a laugh behind me, sharp as a gambling machine. Street light on empty, my shoes full of dust. I came in with a little pride and left it in the rust. Street light on empty, no prayer, no excuse. Once the room knows your name, it learns how to use you. I leaned on the rail till the paint stuck to my palm. Tried to act like a hard man, tried to act calm, but the night kept pressing in close as a closed fist. And every little lie I told just doubled in the mist. She said, you can go if you want, but you won't go far. I said, I know, and I meant it with the tip of my scar. A man don't always come back because he wants to. Sometimes he comes back because the room already got his number. So I turned back slow with the heat on my neck, like I was walking toward a table that knew I was broken checked. The street light blinked once, then it let the darkness win. I told myself I still had time, but the noose had already been in. Street light on empty, my shoes full of dust. I came in with a little pride and left it in the rust. Street light on empty, the night don't excuse. Once the room knows your name, it learns how to use you. Street light on empty, I heard my own shame. The night was still breathing, but it knew my name. Hot wind on the corner, street light gone black. I was already in the room when I told myself I'd come back. She stood at the back room door like she owned the air. One hand on the frame, one eye on my bad luck. She don't raise her voice much, she don't have to. A quiet woman can cut through you. Her dress had dust on the hem, her heels wore down thin. She looked at my face like she'd seen that face within. I said, I only came by for a drink and a smoke. She said, you came by because your promises broke. The lamp above the table buzzed like a mean little bee, and every man in that room pretended not to see. She kept her purse on the chair, kept her eyes on the clock, like time itself was a man she could out-talk. I knew her better than the line in my hand, better than the dealer, better than my own backhand. She said, you've been gone so long, you forgot your own roof. I said, I'm still me, but the words had no proof. She smiled one side, not kind, not cruel, just the look of a woman who can read a fool. Woman at the back room door, don't let me lie. If I came here clean, I wouldn't still be here by and by. Woman at the back room door, you know my shade. You can tell by my silence what kind of man I ain't. The card on the table looked wet from sweat, the ashtray full of second chances I ain't caught yet. She reached for my sleeve when the room got still, and my whole bad temper bowed to her will. She said, you don't need money to lose what you got. I said, I know, and the answer hit hard and hot. Don't make a sermon out of me, I'm just a man trying not to fold in front of the one he hurt. She moved like the end of a long hard night, not fast, not slow, just sure and right. And the door behind her looked smaller than fear, like the whole damn room had been waiting on her ear. Woman at the back room door, don't let me lie. If I came here clean, I wouldn't still be here by and by. Woman at the back room door, you know my shade. You can tell by my silence what kind of man I ain't. Woman at the back room door, I can't pretend. You were the first hard truth and the last thing I said. She stayed on the frame while the cards kept talking. I knew right then I was the one who'd been walking on. Dealer smiled like he knew my last good lie. Cards on the felt, sweating the light. slow with a ring on his thumb, counting my breath till my mouth went numb. The cigar smoke rolled low like a dirty cloud, and the men in the corner all thought too loud. I had a 7 and a 6 and a prayer gone weak. He had the kind of grin that don't need to speak. I said, deal me another, with a voice too thin. He said, I did, and the room leaned in. 4 cards short and the deck still bent. I felt my whole damn evening start to relent. The waitress set a glass down hard by my hand, like she knew the difference between a man and a stand. My pride sat upright, but my luck sat dead, and the harp in the back room started biting red. I could've stood up clean, could've walked out cold, but the shoes I was wearing were already sold. 4 cards short, and the room knows it. 4 cards short, and I can't outthrow it. 4 cards short, with my jaw shut tight. The shame in that table had my name by night. He said, you bluff like a boy with a borrowed coat. I said, you talk like a man who ain't never been broke. That got a laugh, but it didn't buy air. Just made the whole damn table stare. My hand shook once, then I laid it down slow, like a coffin lid dropping where the dumb men go. The dealer tapped wood, the pit boss sighed, and my good sense slipped out with the smoke outside. There comes a minute in every bad room when the truth don't need a witness. It just needs a face to land on. I saw my own reflection in the bottle's green blur. Looked like a man who had already been where I was. The dice in the ashtray, the cold in my neck. I knew that table was a wreck, and I was next. 4 cards short, and the room knows it. 4 cards short, and I can't outthrow it. 4 cards short, with my jaw shut tight. The shame in that table had my name. No win. I lost my face before I lost again. Dealer stacked the deck, I stacked my pride. Both of us waiting on the same dark side. Ash on your shoulder, light in your hair. I know that look. I've been the reason it's there. I don't come to you pretty, I come to you bare, with the smell of bad whiskey and worry in my stare. You take that coat from my back like you still got care, but you look right through me like the room ain't there. I seen your mouth tighten when I said I was done. Seen you count my lies one by one, and still you stayed close like a match near a flame. Like you liked the heat even when it burned read your name. You don't ask for mercy, you don't ask for grace. You ask if I'm leaving, then you look away from my face. Your hands got the kind of patience that hurts to see, like you've been waiting on the wrong half of me. I put my forehead to the wall, felt the plaster sweat, heard you say, I know you better than the cards you get. That hit lower than a punch, cleaner than a cut, 'cause I knew you were right. And I still play tough. Ash on your shoulder, mine in your hair. We both keep breathing like it don't get there. Ash on your shoulder, smoke in my chest. I keep calling it love, but it's mostly a test. You asked me once why I keep coming back. I said because leaving feels like a heart attack. That wasn't noble, that wasn't sweet. That was just a man with nowhere to put his feet. The radio crooned low from the next room wall, and I could hear my own name in the fall. You laughed soft once, then you looked away, like you had already paid for the whole next day. If I told the truth, it'd sound like confession. If I lied, you'd hear it in the room. So I stand here with my hands empty. The ash on your shoulder, it stays too long, like the wrong kind of memory in a right kind song. I kiss the edge of your anger, I take the blame, 'cause wanting you clean would only change the name. Ash on your shoulder, mine in your hair. We both keep breathing like it don't get there. Ash on your shoulder, smoke in my chest. I keep calling it love, but it's mostly a test. Ash on your shoulder, don't say I'm free. You know my ruin had a room with your key. We stood in the blue light, neither one brave. Two old bad habits trying to behave. Window fan rattling, bed springs mean, whole block sweating in the middle between. Got a window fan squealing like a dying horn, blowing hot night back into the the night keeps opening its bad red eyes. I hear somebody laugh, I hear somebody run, I hear my own temper saying get your gun. But I ain't got a gun, just a grudge and a grin, and a bad little want that keeps crawling in. The walls are thin enough to hear regret, a baby crying somewhere, a bet unpaid yet, a dog on the corner barking at a car, like even the mongrel knows who we are. I tried to sleep it off, tried to drown it down, but the fan kept pushing heat around. Every little memory came back to me, wearing the same damn shirt it wore at 17. Window fan blues won't let me cool. Window fan blues make a liar out of a fool. Window fan blues blow that truth in my face. When the air won't move, neither will disgrace. I looked at the mirror and it looked away. Could've sworn I saw my father in the glass today. Same tired eyes, same cracked old jaw, same kind of silence that becomes a flaw. I cussed the city, cussed the moon, cussed the bed, cussed the old tune rolling through my head. But the fan kept hollering metal on metal, like a cheap little judge with a cheap little gavel. Heat makes honest men of liars, and liars of honest men. That fan don't care which one you are. So I stood by the frame and let it blow, let it drag my temper where it wanted to go. Outside, streetlight buzz like a busted vein. Inside, I heard the same old chain. Window fan blues won't let me cool. Window fan blues make a liar out of a fool. Window fan blues blow that truth in my face. When the air won't move, neither will disgrace. Window fan blues, oh, rattling all night long. A hot room can turn a right man wrong. Fan kept rattling, dawn kept thin. The room got lighter, but the heat stayed in. You kept the key, but I kept knocking. That don't make either one of us clean. I saw the key on the nail by the sink. Little brass shine gave me too much to think. Could've left it there, could've walked out then, but my feet got stupid when I saw it again. You had your coat on the chair, your face half turned, not looking at me, but I still felt burned. You said a key don't stay in one hand long, like you've been waiting to teach me that song. I wanted to say You held me there, wanted to make your silence into a trap somewhere. But the truth sat heavy on my tongue. I was the one came back when the night was young. Every lock in the house had my breath in it. Every scratch on the door was a part of it. I kept my hands on the frame too long, then called it fate when it all went wrong. You kept the key, I kept the door. You kept the key, but I came back for more. You kept the key, don't call it sin. If I was outside, why'd I keep getting in? You lit one cigarette, took one slow drag, looked at me like a worn-out flag. No hate in your face, no mercy neither. Just the kind of calm that makes a man weaker. I said, tell me the truth. You said I already did. And the room went thin like a lid on a lid. Some doors don't lock a man out. Some doors keep him honest about why he keeps coming back. I put the key in my palm and felt its bite. Tiny little thing with a big dark night. You didn't smile, you didn't move, like the whole hard lesson had nothing to prove. You kept the key, I kept the door. You kept the key, but I came back for more. You kept the key, don't call it sin. If I was outside, why'd I keep getting in? You kept the key, and I kept the blame. Now every good excuse sounds like your name. The key stayed warm after you were gone. I knew then the lock had been mine all along. Last light on Halsted, gutter still warm. I walked that block like I started a storm. The bakery was closed, the paper rack bent. A cop car rolled by like it already knew where I went. I had a split lip from a word that got loud, and a shirt full of smoke from the wrong kind of crowd. The sidewalk showed my shadow thin and mean. Looked like a man with a hole in between. I passed the barber shop window, saw myself plain. No hero, no martyr, just weather and pain. A woman on the stoop shook ice in a glass. A kid on a bike said, "Mister, you look past." I laughed once works, but it came out dry, like a tire on glass under a low red sky. It smelled like rust, perfume, and rain, like the whole long avenue had learned my name. I thought about saying sorry to the air, but the air don't need me and the block don't care. Last light on Halsted, nowhere to hide. Last light on Halsted, I wore it outside. The dawn came mean and put my whole bad life in the glass between. I heard church bells far off, not calling me back, just marking the hour on a busted track. The hangover, the hunger, the little heartache, all of it walking like a man who can't break. I touched the bruise on my jaw and grinned at the fact that pain can make a witness out of a cracked up act. When the block sees you lose, it doesn't ask why. It just files you under what happened here. I kept on toward the light till the light went pale, thinking maybe shame is just another trail. But every step I took kept bringing me near to the same dark room and the same hard ear. Last light on Halsted, nowhere to hide. Last light on Halsted, I wore it outside. Came mean and put my whole bad life in the glass between. Last light on Halsted, the sky turned white and I saw the whole damn city standing in my sight. I was still walking when the block quit watching. That was the first time I felt the night unlock me. Thought the noose was a room, turned out it was the heat. Dawn came pale and mean, found me still awake. Same shirt on my back, same kind of ache. The fan was gone quiet, the street had gone blue, and the shape of my trouble came back in view. I looked at the chair where the key had been, looked at the ashtray, looked at my skin. Nothing in that room was doing me wrong. I was the one that stayed when I knew too long. You weren't the chain, you weren't the crime, you were the reason I called the trap of time. I liked the heat because it kept me busy, kept me too tired to hear how dizzy. I liked the shame because it sounded like proof that I still had a pulse under a rotten roof. That's a hard thing to say with a mouth like mine, but truth don't wait for a better line. The heat stays when the street goes cool, the heat stays. It don't care who's who, the heat stays in the shirt, in the skin, in the bone. I called it a night, but it lived in me home. my footsteps after the door is shut. Don't call it mercy, don't call it luck. Some men leave clean, some men don't. I kept the burn because I said I won't. I said I won't, and that was a lie. I said I won't till the morning dry. A noose don't always hang from a beam. Sometimes it hangs from the part of you that can't quit the room. I can walk now, but I won't be free. Not from the night, not from the memory. The woman, the cards, the fam, the street, they're all just names for the same old heat. The heat stays. When the street goes cool, the heat stays. It don't care who's who, the heat stays. In the shirt, in the skin, in the bone. I called it a night, but it lifted me home. The heat stays, and I stay too. That is the part I can't undo. Dawn on the window, no prayer, no cure. I walked out the room with the room inside my words.